Oh, what is going on, guys? Danny Feng here, and this is a podcast. So I haven't been podcasting in a very long time. Actually, podcast is something that I really want to get into, but never really focused on. So I'm gonna start picking it up. That's what I'm gonna do. That is right. It's just gonna be me and the mic in a room talking to myself, and hopefully, some of you guys will find this interesting. I don't know if this is going to be interesting. I am going to see how this plays out. And my voice just broke in a very awkward way. So, yeah, the whole point of the podcast is an audio form, obviously, of just me yapping about stuff, either to do with filmmaking or audio. So yeah, this is just a very spontaneous recording that I'm doing. I'm also just testing out my setup, so just to hear how the sound quality is and if this workflow is actually good for me. Because the idea is I kind of just want to do these podcasts very spontaneously, but still deliver high quality audio as well. And I don't know if it picks up the room, the roominess of the room, the reverb of the room, but I'm actually just recording it on my Rode mic, which is I forgot the name, but it's the new shotgun mic that you mount on cameras. I think it's basically designed for like vlogging and things like that, an on-cam microphone. But actually, the microphone doesn't sound too bad for podcasting. So I think I'm going to test this out for a little while and kind of see how this goes. Let me know what you guys think about this. So yeah, in this podcast section or my podcast collection, I'm just going to be talking about filmmaking and audio things. I think the first batch, I'm just going to be talking about more audio stuff than anything else, because I feel like that's something that I just feel like there's a lot of stuff over there that I really want to share with you guys. And for the people who don't know, I actually started off as a sound engineer. I've been doing sound for 10 plus years or so. I started off as a drummer, then went into being a guitarist just because, my backyard, I had drums and the neighbors were complaining and I couldn't play and practice and things like that. So I would just be in my bedroom and playing my guitar, and they say, hey, there might be something there. So I guess it's more to do with logistics than anything else on why I transitioned from drums to guitar. But that's another story. That's not very relevant for what I wanted to say. But basically, a drummer, guitarist, and then I started a band, obviously, like any teenage boy would do. And I had a band when I was about 15, 16, I think 14, 15, 16. I think that's the time when I had the band. And then while being in a band, I noticed that, we had to record our demos somehow, and that's when I fell in love with recording sound and being a sound engineer, essentially. So that's where that passion sparked from, being a sound engineer. And I went to UK to study music production over there for a couple of years, and that was the first college that I was at Northampton, which is north of UK. And then from there, I moved to London and studied sound engineering in London at a school called SAE Institute. If you guys don't know it, check it out. It's an amazing school. And let me just see if this is still recording. Is it still recording? Yes, it's still recording. And yeah, I graduated there and then just freelanced for a couple of years over there. While freelancing, I worked for a brilliant agency called Mahogany. They're also known as Mahogany Sessions on YouTube. Really cool channel. So yeah, I did their sound basically for about, I think it's 2 years, maybe 2.5. I'm not really sure, something like that. And then from there, I just decided to do my own things. And now I'm a freelancer, full-time freelancer based in Berlin, Germany. But while doing sound, I fell in love with the visual side of stuff. So I started, doing some amateur photography things and whatnot, and fell in love with doing video and with word of mouth. That's how I started getting gigs and then paid gigs. And then, the ball started rolling, and doing more film stuff than audio stuff now. But I feel like the years that I've been a sound engineer, I feel like there's a lot of knowledge over there that I feel might bring value to you guys. So I want to share my experience with you guys. Just to clarify, when doing a lot of the sound stuff, I did mostly live recording things. I think that's where I would specialize in. But live recording is not like front of house kind of thing, which in layman's terms, it just means like the sound guy who does all the sound things on the desk when it comes to like live events, as in like gigs and stage things and stuff like that, which is not what I am specialized in. What I mean by live recording, as in like live band recording, stuff like that. It could be in a studio or at some location. It could be in a bedroom, it could be in a living room, but just a band together and kind of just record everything all at once. And that's kind of what Mahogany Sessions is, recording bands live. And that is the area where I specialize in. And through that, I've learned a lot of things. And, being a live sound engineer, you do face a lot of challenges as well on, you have to kind of like figure out creative ways to capture sound at the best way possible when you're in a non-controlled environment, like let's say outdoors in a forest or something, and you're trying to get the best audio possible. So I'm planning on doing a couple of episodes and kind of maybe do like a breakdown on some of the recordings I did for Mahogany, and I'll just put the links to the session in like just somewhere in the description below so you guys can hear it, and I'll just be breaking it down on what I did just by shouting out time codes and things like that. I don't think I'll be able to put any audio things on my channel or anything on my podcast just for copyright reasons and things like that, and I don't want to get into that. So I'll just put the link below, and you'll just basically click on the case study that we're going to be looking at, and I'll just break down how that session went down and what I used and what I did to get the sound and all that kind of stuff. So that's basically the format that I'm thinking on doing. So for maybe, as far as sound goes for this podcast, I'm thinking on doing maybe like 4 episodes, like 4 mini podcast episodes on breaking down some of the sessions that I did for Mahogany, and maybe you guys can kind of get something out of that here. I'm not really sure if this will be helpful, but I just feel like I need to put these things out there, kind of my experience and my journey when I was doing a lot of live recording things and just doing, recording stuff. And, when I was based in London, I did some studio gigs as well and things like that. And, it's not always just about, the recording, but also how to, handle stress, and also how to handle clients when it comes to like, disagreements and all this kind of stuff. That's all part of a job, which I'm probably just going to naturally talk about in the audio series. So that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna maybe spontaneously start just picking a couple of sessions that I did for that company, Mahogany Sessions, and kind of just see if there's anything, just like the most interesting recordings that I did, or at least the most complicated recordings that I did, and kind of break it down, explain to you guys what I use and the challenges that I faced and how I got around it. And and maybe those kind of things could help you guys in some way or form, even if it's like, live recording things and stuff like that you guys, or even just like narrative things. I think even in narrative stuff, you do get like complicated setups and things like that, and maybe some of the things that I've experienced could apply on the things that you guys are doing now. But anyway, so that's that, and I don't know how many episodes I'm going to be doing with that. Maybe like 3 or 4, because like if I start breaking down every single recording that I've ever done for them, it's just going to be like I'm always going to be talking about the same thing over and over again. So I'm just going to pretty much just pick like highlights and just break that down for you guys. But anyway, and then after that, I'm just going to talk about like filmmaking things and behind the scene things and stuff like that. I've been wanting to like share a lot of like more BTS things with you guys, because some of you guys are also DMing me and writing me, asking me about like behind the scene things, and just want to get more involved with some of the things that I do, which I am more than happy to share my experience with you guys when it's actually possible. Like sometimes some jobs, require, contracts and things like that, I can't really share or talk about and things like that. But when on the projects that I can, I will share it with you guys. And this is what the podcast section is about. And hopefully, so the reason why I picked this format as well to do these kind of like long breakdowns and things as a podcast is because it's audio, it's audio, and it's easy for you guys to kind of just put on your headphones, do your thing, and just, hopefully when you listen to me yap for 30 minutes, an hour, or whatever it is, hopefully you can get some value and some insight on my experience while you're multitasking, doing other cool stuff that are more exciting than what I'm doing. But anyway, guys, so that's my little update podcast thing. I am gonna stop recording now and bounce. So I don't know how to end the podcast. I still, like I said, this was very spontaneous podcasting. It's just me yapping on and just updating you guys about things. But I should find like a cool way to kind of end this. Probably like just say, yeah, see you guys in the next episode, and then like drop some like cool 5-second kind of impact sound or something like that, or like drop into some like cool music or something. I gotta work that out. I don't know the logistics yet, but whatever. I'm just recording this, so I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Hopefully soon on my audio series. Peace.